This is the SEMA 2022 road trip in the Electrollite, starting at the SEMA show in Las Vegas, where I was on display with SEMA Electrified. I decided to take the opportunity to drive it back to Denver from Las Vegas. It's a beautiful drive, and I've been wanting to get this car out on the road to really put the fast charging through the paces. So a little bit of planning before I start. I started with a better route planner. This is a great tool, especially if you have a factory electric vehicle. It knows all the parameters as far as efficiency, travel speed, charge speed, and it'll give you a pretty good, accurate route, taking terrain into account and charger locations, and so it'll plan it all out for you. I don't really have all those parameters because this car is not one I can select. I had to program it myself, just with some estimates based on some other electric cars and some of the driving I've done so far. So the initial route here shows I'm going to need about 7 stops. It has the distance between the stops, how long the drive will take, and how long the charging will take. I've decided to start with 90% state of charge. I'm assuming I'll burn 350 watt hours per mile with the heater on at 65 miles per hour. And I've got kind of a middle of the road setting for charge time versus stops. Through the testing I've done, I can only get it to fast charge with Electrify America, so that is the network I will be using. I cannot get ChargePoint or any of the others to work just yet. Also, I can only use CHAdeMO plugs, so the charger must be a CHAdeMO charger, which is 50 kilowatts. It's kind of the slow end of all the fast charging, but that's what's built into my BMS, and that's what I currently have installed. Maybe we'll do Tesla or CCS in the future. We'll see what becomes available. But as of right now, I'm just up for an adventure. Let's see if this works. All of these charge ports must work in order for me to make it home. I'll be starting in Las Vegas, and the first leg is 130 miles to St. George. This whole trip will be a slight uphill grade, so that will need to be taken into account for the efficiency. And my speed, I'm going to keep it under 65 miles per hour. Starting at the RV resort, this is the Oasis RV resort in Las Vegas, and I'm plugged into the NEMA 1450, getting it topped off to my initial state of charge of 90%. I also have the batteries preheated, the car's preheated, the heated seat is on, and I'm ready to hit the road. So the first leg of the trip was great, cruise control the whole way. The car is running perfectly, and as I'm approaching St. George, I'm getting excited to do the first fast charge stop. This is Electrify America at a Walmart. A little bit awkward, some of these early ones, the way they position the chargers, depending on your car's charge point. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's almost like you take up 2 spots. But I was able to work the car in. It was very busy. The port was open, but it would not communicate with my car. So I tried multiple times. It would just not work. So now I'm either dead in the water or I have to try to stretch it to the next possible charger, which is Cedar City. So instead of 130 miles, I'm going to end up at 180 miles away. We've got to give it a shot, though. I don't want the trip to be over. So I'm at least going to drive it all the way there. If it dies, it dies, but I got to give it a whirl. I was wondering if my BMS firmware needed to be updated, so that's what I'm doing here at a rest stop on the way between St. George and Cedar City. Give it a quick update and then head up the road. I'm going to get there with about 25% state of charge, but I got to give it a shot, like I said. So here I am. This is Cedar City. I plugged it in. It did not communicate the first try. Second try, it worked. It is charging here, so I'm not going to touch it. And I actually met a contact from online who lives in Cedar City. I told him I was going to be nearby. He came by, and while I was going from 25 to 85%, it took a little over an hour for 60 kilowatt hours. We were talking the whole time, had a great conversation. In fact, we talked longer even after I was done charging. It was just a great stop. So back in business, ready to hit the road. There's 2 more failed chargers just after this stop. I cannot use the one in Beaver or in Richfield, so I'm heading all the way to Salina. But now I've got renewed confidence. It's only 135 miles, so I'm going to hit the road again, and everything is looking good. I think this is going to work out. I hope this charger works, because if it doesn't work, I will be done. And what a beautiful drive. This is why I love driving in the West. Approaching evening here. It's just the perfect night. I make it all the way to Salina without any trouble. And I'm at the next Electrify America station. Looks like a newer station. It's at a Love's truck stop. And I plugged in. It connected right away. This is another free charge session. I'm assuming it was a promotion they had going on. Looks like they had some difficulty figuring out where the parking places are. I like their original option the best, so that's where I'm parked. It fit the car the best. Some of these cables just have to be the right length, and you got to park just right to get them to work out. My charge port is in the back center of the car behind the license plate, so this just worked the best for me. And I'm the only one here. It's just a beautiful, calm evening. I've got time while I'm charging here. This is only going to be 45 minutes or so. And I've got time to update videos and pictures on social media and respond to comments and just stretch my legs and walk around. I'm actually planning on staying the night here. I'm on a caravan trip with my dad, who's driving my RV, so we're just going to stay at the truck stop for the night. And this trip has to take 3 days, it turns out, because there's a snowstorm up in the Rocky Mountains, and I'm not going to take this or the RV over Vail Pass in a snowstorm. So we have time to kill. We're just taking it easy, and this is my favorite way to do a road trip anyway. There's no hurry. If I was in a hurry, I would probably just fly. So I went from 44% to 80%. That's 36 kilowatt hours added. Again, it was free. It took about 45 minutes, and I'm staying the night anyway. So getting ready to plan the next leg of the trip. This will be from Salina to Green River. It's only 105 miles, so it'll take an hour and a half to get there. And I've been wanting to go to this Green River stop. It's at a coffee shop. I've seen videos online and pictures online, and I think it's going to be another great stop. So I make it to Green River, And again, I'm the only car here. I have been looking ahead on the Electrify America app to see if the chargers were open. Of all the charge cables, there's only one CHAdeMO at each of these chargers. So if there was another car, say a Nissan Leaf or another CHAdeMO car, I might be having to wait, but so far, no waiting. I just pull up. It's kind of a sleepy day. It's Sunday, and most of the things were closed in town, but it was a beautiful day, so I love being outside, and I'm still data collecting on the car. The charge worked great. I got a breakfast burrito at a taco truck just down the road, and so I spent a little over an hour, went from 43 all the way to 90 because I was eating my burrito, and we're ready to keep going. Next stop is Arches. And what a beautiful drive through Arches. I love this area. Try to get over there as much as possible anytime I'm driving through. And this drive through Arches was a little bit out of the way, so I did backtrack a little bit to Green River so I could charge back up, not knowing if I could make it to Grand Junction from there or not. So a little backtrack. I actually fell asleep in the car, went from 47% to 90%, and it was $17.45. This did take about an hour and a half, but I'm staying the night nearby at a rest stop. So just have a nice overnight, and then we'll plan the next day to Grand Junction, about 100 miles. And I plan on starting the day early. I just want to get over there, get the day going. I want to get home into Denver with plenty of time to unpack and clean the car and get everything put away. So about 6 in the morning here at a rest stop. This is near the turnoff from I-70 going down to the Moab Arches area. Got the show lights on. I programmed these for the SEMA parade. Just thought it'd be fun. I can send myself over-the-air updates with all the programming with the Holley SmartWire, so it's fun to change things up once in a while. You can also see the red light on the fender. That's the high voltage connected indicator. And just a beautiful sunrise. I'm looking forward to driving into the sunrise and just enjoying this nice, calm, and beautiful morning. And the first leg of the trip went great. Made it over to Sam's Club. This is the Electrify America in Grand Junction. Again, I was the only car here. To begin with, lots of people were kind of starting their day and driving by. I had lots of looks. I had lots of conversations. And someone else showed up early. They were traveling the opposite direction, so I got a little bit of a weather report over the pass from them, and they said it was drying out, so the rest of the day should go great. 39% to 81% in about an hour. Most of that, again, I was talking with other folks and just stretching my legs. Next stop, I'm going to get to Glenwood Springs, only about 90 miles. And one of my favorite places, Glenwood Springs. Looking forward to just spending the morning there. Getting into Glenwood Springs. This charge station was in a great location. It's in a shopping center. There was a Target and a Big Five and a number of other shops and restaurants, and I could see this being a great place to plan a longer stop. If you were traveling through and you wanted to do a lunch stop somewhere, this would be the place. Plenty to do and lots of options for food. And then the scenery, of course. This is why it's one of my favorite places. Beautiful scenery and morning, and I really enjoyed being here. A number of people drove by and stopped and were asking about the car, if it was actually electric, and a couple people that have seen it on TikTok wanted to say hello, and more great conversation and another great stop. Nice relaxing morning so far. Just one more stop on my way home. So from Glenwood to Frisco, it's only about 90 miles once again, and that's another pretty place to be. And I love this drive. We're going to cruise through Glenwood Canyon and Vail Pass, and then we'll get to Frisco for another quick charge, and then I'll be able to head home from there. So enjoy this time lapse of Glenwood and Vail Pass. I just love that drive coming up the pass. The power of the electric car is so great going up the hills and then the regen back down. So very effortless to drive. And I made it to Frisco. I'm at the Walmart here. You can see other people are on the phone. I was on the phone too, and that's because all these chargers are broken. I thought for sure it was going to work. I looked on the app and it was in use earlier in the day, but when I got here, none of them would connect to the cars. I gotta say, the tech support or the helpline for Electrify America, they're very friendly and they wanted it to work, and they were willing to help me find any other chargers on other networks or anything else they could do to help. I'm locked into Electrify America as far as fast charging goes. I'm not sure why that is yet, but as far as my testing, it's the only one that's worked so far. But dead in the water, they couldn't communicate, they couldn't reset the machines remotely, so I either have to try to make it home or do a slow charge for the night, but this will make the trip from Glenwood to home about 180 miles, up and down some big hills. Hopefully I can leave here and get up to the top of the hill to the Eisenhower Tunnel. It'll be downhill from there, and I just got to try. I'm starting with about 44% down in Frisco. Well, getting to the top of the hill was no problem power-wise, but I ate 10% of the battery range in about 12 and a half miles. So luckily from this point all the way down, there's a lot of downhill. Hopefully it's enough and I can maintain my charge or maybe even regen a little bit back. So as you probably guessed, that last leg of the trip worked out just fine. I arrived home with 23% state of charge, more than enough to keep going, and all that downhill. I did regen and get a little bit of the capacity back at one point, but then it really just maintained most of the way down I-70. And so no stress at all once I started going. This was one of my favorite road trips of all time. Just, I loved the pace. I love driving this car. I mean, I want to spend all day in the car anyway, and I cannot wait to do it again. This was definitely a successful trip, and I'll be planning more in the future. I cannot wait to get this car on the road again. I loved every minute of it, and I really appreciate you stopping by to watch the video. Hope to see you again soon.